the most inhumane and vicious crime that I have handled out of the thousands of cases that I have seen.
Tell them how much fun it is.
It's amazing.
This place is nuts.
I just want them back. I just want them to come back. And if they're not safe right now, that's what's tearing me apart. Because if they are safe, they're coming back. But if they're not, this has got to stop. Like, somebody has to come forward. It's just gonna be me here alone. Oh, we got some people joining. Bella, look, got people looking at us. Say hi.
Tell them you love them.
You're welcome. We love you.
Say love you.
Candy.
Oh yeah, shoot, that's in here.
Position of trust with respect to the victim in violation of Colorado Revised Statutes 18-3-102, subsection 1, subsection F. Do you understand?
So Chris and I are super excited. So we're gonna get a massage after we lay by the pool for a little bit and maybe go to the beach again. And then we're going to go to the cocktail party. And we will be live there tonight. I don't want to be in it. Get lower.
If this stillness holds you, a quiet gesture helps sustain these long-form investigations. Taking a moment to like the video or subscribe allows stories like this to be examined with the time and care they demand, bringing hidden truths into focus, one layer at a time.
I don't want them to really go in the ocean.
Ready, set.
Life will never be the same without Shannon, Bella, and Celeste and Nico. Had all their lives to live. They were taken by a heartless one. This is the heartless one, the evil monster, who dare you take the lives of my daughters Shannon, Bella, Celeste, and Nico. I trusted you to take care of them, not kill them. And they also trusted you. The heartless monster, and then you take them out like trash. You disgust me.
Ready, set.
The pool opens in 2 weeks too.
What's the degrees today?
85 last I checked. 120.
Wow.
No, CC.
Yeah.
CC, get girl.
Oh gosh. Oh my gosh, are you kidding? She can climb that fence.
Mr. Watts, why did you kill your wife and 2 children?
Mr. Watts, did you confess?
I wanted to say thank you for this moment. I want to take a moment to thank everyone who has prayed for our beloved family, who had sent gifts, cards to us from all over the world. I know God will put the evil people where they need to be. I also want to take the time to thank the town of Frederick, Greeley, FBI, the DA's office, the CBI, for exceptional work. We thank Nicole Atkinson, Shannon's neighbor Nathan, and his family. To me, they're our heroes. They really are. God bless. God makes no mistakes on who he puts in your life. Marriage is about love, trust, and friendship and unity. We marry for sickness and health, to death do us part. Our daughter Shannon loved you with all of her heart. Your children loved you to the moon and back. Shannon's family was her world. Shannon put a crown on your head. But unfortunately, the day that you took their life, God removed that crown. We loved you like a son. We trusted you. Your faithful wife trusted you. Your children adored you, and they also trusted you. Your daughter Bella Marie sang a song proudly. And I don't know if you got to see it, but it was, "Daddy, you're my hero." I have no idea who gave you the right to take their lives. But I know God and his mighty angels were there at that moment to bring them home to paradise. God gives us free will. So not only did you take the family of four, your family of four, you took your own life. I want the world to know that our daughter and her children were so loved by us. There will always be protected by God and his mighty angels. I didn't want death for you because that's not my right. Your life is between you and God now, and I pray that he has mercy for you. From Shannon's mother, Bella Marie, Celeste Catherine, and Nico Lee's, Nana. Thank you, Your Honor.
Girls.
Oh, CC Bella.
Okay. You want chocolate? No chocolate? Hey, if you want chocolate, you just get this bowl. You want this one, bigger one? We're gonna go.
I love you too.
This is the morning. This is why I love that I thrive.
The past 3 months I barely slept because I've been going through a lot of different emotions because I did not see this coming. You went from being my brother, my sister's protector, one of the most loved people in my family, to someone I will spend the rest of my life trying to understand. What gave you the right to put your hands on a woman, let alone my best friend, my beloved sister, your daughters, and your son? Why weren't they enough for you? In the blink of an eye, you took away my whole world, the people that mattered to me the most. Everything in my life I loved, your children. They trusted you. They loved you. They looked up to you because you promised to keep them safe. Instead, you turned on your family. My blood is boiling as I write these last words because they are the last you will ever hear from me. I can't even think of the right words to describe the betrayal and the hate I feel. And to be honest, you aren't even worth the time and effort it takes to put my pen to this paper. There isn't a day that goes by that I don't cry for my family. They were my whole world. All I do is ask myself why. Why would you do this? You don't deserve to be called a man. What kind of person slaughters the people that love them the most? Did you really think you would get away with this? Did you really think that this was your best option, to throw away your family like they were garbage? They deserve better and you know it. I hope you spend the rest of your life staring at the ceiling every night, being haunted by what you've done. None of us deserved this. Hearing my mother and father cry themselves to sleep in this hotel room causes me anguish that is beyond words. I can't describe how this feels, how badly my heart is breaking for my poor parents. We trusted you. You have taken away my family from this earth, but you can never take them from my heart. You took away my privilege of being an uncle to the most precious little girls I've ever known. I will never hear the words Uncle Frankie again, but you will never be called Dad again either. You'll never be able to put your hands on another woman, let alone my best friend, my beloved sister, and your son. I just can't comprehend how they weren't enough for you. Shanann, Bella, and Cece loved you more than anyone. You were their hero. How could you destroy the people who loved them the most? I pray that you never have a moment's peace or a good night's rest in the cage you'll spend every day of your life in. A cage you are privileged to live in because my family isn't evil like you. We begged the district attorney to spare your life because despite everything, we believe that no one has the right to take the life of another, even someone like you. I feel sorry for your family. I know the pain that they must feel knowing that they can't hug you, because that's how my mother, father, and I feel every time we cry for our family. Nothing hurts more than watching or hearing my family weep for their loved ones. I just wish that I could tell that you would tell the truth, but I know that that is asking for more than you are capable of. I stayed up all night writing this statement. I don't sleep because of you. My life will never be the same because of you, but at least my conscience is clear. I get to live free, but I can't say the same for you. I haven't slept in 2 days because I've been anxiously waiting for this moment, the moment I get to tell you how I feel, how this has affected my family and I. My family and I can finally grieve after today. If anything, we will come out of this stronger today than we were before, and we will continue to pray for your family. Sincerely, Frankie Rusick. Thank you.
Hey everybody! So I'm home with the family, and they're excited to try the new Pro Bars, and they came in, I think, yesterday. So we have cookies and cream, and we have lemon meringue. Who wants Pro Bars?
I do.
All right, so do you guys want lemon meringue first, or do you want cookies and cream?
Cookies.
Cookies?
I want that.
You want the lemon meringue? All right, since I have this one open, let's try this one first, okay?
Cookies and cream.
And Daddy's gonna try it too.
Yeah. Are you both?
Yes, so everyone's gonna try Chris cookies and cream. All right, Bella gets cookies and cream, Cece gets cookies and cream.
Ready?
Ready?
Set.
You're the taste testers.
Yummy.
Is it yummy? What's it taste like?
Chocolate.
Chocolate. What else?
Watermelon.
Watermelon. What's it taste like, Cece?
Flip it.
Chocolate?
Uh-huh.
Is it delicious? Daddy?
Oreo wrapped with vanilla. It's nice.
Oreo wrapped in vanilla?
Mm-hmm.
Is it yummy, Cece? Is that good, Bella? I think they like cookies and cream. Okay, so let's try the lemon meringue. Hey, everybody. So, a little crazy over here. Cece loves the cookies and cream.
You like it? Yeah, nothing. Good thing.
Don't mind me. It's been a long travel day yesterday. Been cleaning, regrouping today. Hey, Jen. Okay, so Chris, this is the lemon meringue. Nope, that's Daddy's. Here's yours. Wait, don't take. Wait. Here, Bella. Okay, this one's lemon meringue. It's like the pie, but better because I don't like the pie.
Ready, set, go.
Ready? Hey, Jessica.
That's so good.
How's that taste, Cece?
Good.
Good? Yeah? Do you like that one better?
Me too. I like it.
What's it taste like?
You like lemon meringue pie? Straight out the box.
Bella, what's it taste like?
I don't like it.
You don't like that one? Bella doesn't like that one. That's okay.
Okay.
You like the birthday cake, right? And the cookies and cream? Yeah. Dieter, do you want some? Yeah, Dieter wants some. All right, so which one's your favorite out of all the Pro Bars? Hey, Wendy.
I would say lemon meringue.
Lemon meringue? What's your favorite, Cece? Birthday? Mommy's favorite. What's your favorite? The cookies and cream? Wow.
We have to keep 3 on stock.
It's a good thing. How do I turn this around? It's a good thing that I have all 3 of the favorites in the house. Cinnamon rolls were sold out of it here at the house.
You like it?
I want dip and cream.
You want dip and ranch? You want ranch dip and chips? Jess, I have them all. I just ate all of the cinnamon rolls. Cece actually really likes the cinnamon rolls too. Look at Bella.
Cookies and cream. We got cookie mustard.
I'm guessing you like it, kiddo. You like it? You want the lemon meringue, Cece?
No, she didn't like that one.
I don't like that.
Daddy will finish it.
Yep.
All right, you guys. So that's our family. Making sure I didn't miss anything. Hey, everybody. So we're a mixed family. Apparently, birthday cake is a winner for me and Cece. Bella loves the cookies and cream, and Chris is lemon meringue. Surprisingly, because he's a cookies and cream guy.
Yeah.
So super excited. I love it that it's a healthy snack and Cece can eat it because she has a tree nut allergy, and none of our products are made in a facility that handles nuts at all. So Cece can have them. There's 0 nuts in them, and it's the only go-to bar. We can't do processed bars. We can't do anything like that because Cece can't have any of it because it's all processed in a plant where there's tree nuts or nuts. So it's really nice that she can have it. It's a quick snack for mommy. It's always in my bag. and I can just give it to her. And I heard you, baby. I heard you. She wants ranch and dip. She's my child. Thanks, Kat. So it's really nice. It's convenient for me as a mom that I can just carry them in my purse and always have something for her. So super excited. The Pro Bars are amazing. They're a great snack, low carbs, low sugar, 2 grams of sugar in all of them, I think. But yeah, 2 grams of sugar and 20 grams of protein. So they're really good for you. So you guys have a great night. Love you. And we're going to be, Cece and I are fighting over the birthday cake. So, all right. Say bye.
Bye.
See ya. All right. Bye, guys.
What I'd like to say to the courts that Shannon, Bella, and Nico are loving, caring people. They love life. They love being around people who love them. They always had good times. This is the first time they went to the beach this year, and they loved it. But God only knows what happened that night. Life will never be the same without Shannon, Bella, and Celeste and Nico. Had all their lives to live. They were taken by a heartless one. This is the heartless one, the evil monster, who dare you take the lives of my daughters Shannon, Bella, Celeste, and Nico. I trusted you to take care of them, not kill them. And they also trusted you. The heartless monster, and then you take them out like trash. You disgust me. They were loving and caring people. You may have taken their bodies from me, but you will never take the love they had for me. They loved us more than you will ever know, because you don't know what love is, because if you did, you would not have killed them. You monster, thought you would get away with this. I don't know how. The cameras do not lie. You carry them out like trash of the house. Yes, I seen the videotape. You buried my daughter Shannon and Nico in a shallow grave, and then you put Bella and Celeste in huge containers of crude oil. You heartless monster. You have to live with this vision every day of your life, and I hope you see that every time you close your eyes at night. Oh, I forgot. You have no heart or feelings or love. Let me tell you something. I will think of them every day of my life, and I love them every day of my life. Prison is too good for you. This is hard to say, but may God have mercy on your soul. I hope you enjoy your new life. It's nothing like the one you had out here. May the courts have no mercy on you. It's hard every day. It hurts in so many ways. I have heard people say that you're not a monster. No, you are not. You're an evil monster. Thank you. Love you, Shannon, Bella, and Nico. Love you, Pop and Dad. And one other thing. And Shannon says she is super excited for justice today. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. Everyone needs to deserve this. Everyone.
Absolutely everyone.
Tell them how much fun it is.
It's amazing.
This place is nuts. It is phenomenal.
We're gonna go have some fun. Get to hear what's coming out. It's absolutely exciting. We're super excited. We'll be back here live shortly, guys. Love you.
Your Honor, there are no words to adequately describe the unimaginable tragedy that brings us before this court today. By my comments, I'm not even going to try to express the horror, the pain, or the suffering that the defendant has caused to these families, to this community, and to all who are a part of this investigation. However, I do want to spend a few minutes sharing with the court the details of the crime, as so far you've only had an opportunity to review the affidavit and a few facts here and there that have been offered to the court in the motions and pleadings that have been filed. The questions that have screamed out to anyone who will listen since August 13th of 2018 are why and how. Why did this have to happen? How could a seemingly normal husband and father annihilate his entire family? For what? These are the questions that only one individual in this courtroom or on this planet knows the answers to. I fully expect we will not receive the answers to these questions today, nor will we at any point in the future. I don't expect that he will ever tell the truth about what truly happened or why. Even if he did, there is no rational way that any human being could find those answers acceptable responses to such horrific questions. The best we can do is try to piece together some kind of understanding from the evidence that is available to us. And the evidence tells us this: the defendant coldly and deliberately ended 4 lives, not in a fit of rage, not by way of accident, but in a calculated and sickening manner. Shanann was 34 years old. She had married the defendant in November of 2012. Over the weekend leading up to August 13th, she had been at a work conference in Phoenix, Arizona, and returned home in the early morning hours of August 13th. We know that she got home about 1:45 in the morning. The doorbell camera on their home shows her arriving back home from the airport. Shortly thereafter, at least according to the defendant, they had what he referred to as an emotional conversation about the state of their marriage and about what their lives would look like going forward. What was said during that emotional conversation, only he knows. What we do know is that shortly after that, the defendant strangled her to death with his own hands. We know that he slowly took her life the morning of August 13th. We know that this was not done in an uncontrolled, vengeful manner that he tried to describe to agents from CBI and the FBI. If that were the case, you would expect to see vicious, horrible bruising about her neck, shoulders, and face. You would expect to see the hyoid bone in her neck broken. You would expect to see some kind of defensive wounds on his body as she struggled and fought for her own life. None of those are present. The only injuries that were on Shanann's body were one set of finger or bruising, what appeared to be fingernail or finger mark bruising to the right side of her neck. We know that our experts will tell us that it takes 2 to 4 minutes to strangle someone to death manually with their own hands. The horror that she felt as the man that she loved wrapped his hands around her throat and choked the life out of her must have been unimaginable. Even worse, what must Bella, age 4, and Celeste, age 3, must have experienced or thought as their father, the one man on this planet who was supposed to nurture and protect them, was snuffing out their lives. They both died from smothering. Let me say that again. The man seated to my right smothered his daughters. Why? Imagine the horror in Bella's mind as her father took her last breaths away. Your Honor, understand very clearly, Bella fought back for her life. The frenulum, the connective tissue between her upper lip and her gum, had a centimeter and a half laceration. She bit her tongue multiple times before she died. She fought back for her life as her father smothered her. Celeste had no such injuries. In fact, she had no external injuries at all. But according to the medical examiner, she was smothered nonetheless. The defendant then methodically and calmly loaded their bodies into his work truck, not in a hasty or disorganized way. He was seen from the neighbor's doorbell camera backing his truck into the driveway, going back and forth into the house and back out to the truck 3 different times, 1 time for each of their bodies. He then drove them away from their family home 1 final time, intent on hiding any evidence of the crimes that he had just committed. In one final sign of callousness for his wife, his daughters, and their unborn son, and their remains, he drove them to a location that he thought no one would ever find them, to one of the oil tank batteries with which he was so familiar. He knew this was safe. He had texted a coworker the night before saying, "I'll head out to that site. I'll take care of it." He had carefully ensured that he would be alone in the middle of the plains to secrete away the remains of his family in a place that he hoped they would never be found. In one final measure of disrespect for the family he once had, he ensured that they would not be together, even in death, or so he thought. He disposed of them in different locations. He buried Shanann and Nico in a shallow grave away from the oil tanks. Bella and Celeste were thrown away in the oil tanks at this facility. Different tanks, so these little girls wouldn't be together in death. Imagine this, Your Honor. This defendant took those little girls and put them through a hatch at the top of an oil tank, 8 inches in diameter. Bella had scratches on her left buttocks from being shoved through this hole. A tuft of blonde hair was found on the edge of one of these hatches. The defendant told investigators that Bella's tank seemed emptier than CC's because of the sound that the splashes made. These were his daughters. Significantly, when his coworkers arrived at the tank battery later that morning, to a person, they all described him as acting completely normally. It was a normal workday, even while his daughters sank in the oil and water not far away from him. And then his efforts at deception truly began. We've all seen the emotionless interviews that the defendant gives to the local media, asking for help in locating his family. We watched as he claimed that the house was empty without them, and that he hoped that they were somewhere safe, and that he just wanted them to come home. He told investigators that they were at home sleeping when he left for work that morning, and that Shanann had told him that she was taking the girls to a friend's house for the day. What is striking about this case, Your Honor, beyond the horrors that I've already described to you, is the number of collateral victims that he created by his actions. While he stood in front of TV cameras asking for the safe return of his family, scores of law enforcement officers, neighbors, friends, and family scoured the area, fretted for their safe return. They texted him begging for any information and sending him their best wishes, all the while he hid what he had done. The list of indirect victims does not end there. Think of the firefighters and the Colorado State Patrol hazmat experts who had to don protective suits and who were called upon to pull Bella and Celeste out of those oil tanks. Or the coroner employees who had to conduct these autopsies. Or the victim assistants who frantically attempted to ease the suffering of those affected. All of this, Your Honor, for what? Why? Why did this have to happen? His motive was simple, Your Honor. He had a desire for a fresh start, to begin a relationship with a new love that overpowered all decency and feelings for his wife, his daughters, and unborn son. While Shanann texted the defendant over and over again in the days and weeks leading up to her death, attempting to save her marriage, the defendant secreted pictures of his girlfriend into his phone and texted her at all hours of the night. While Shanann sent the defendant self-help and relationship counseling books, one of which, ironically enough, was thrown in the garbage. He was searching the internet for secluded vacation spots to take his new love in researching jewelry. And while Shanann took the girls to visit family in North Carolina, the defendant went to car museums and the sand dunes with his new girlfriend. The stark contrast between the subjects of their internet and text content is absolutely stunning. Even the morning after he killed them and disposed of their bodies, he made several phone calls. One was to the school where the girls were supposed to start, telling the school that the girls would not be coming to school anymore, that they were being unenrolled, presumably to give him some more time before law enforcement notification about them going missing. He contacted a realtor to start discussing the selling of his house, and he texted with his girlfriend about their future. None of this answers the questions of why, however. If he was this happy and wanted a new start, get a divorce. You don't annihilate your family and throw them away like garbage. Why did Nico, Celeste, Bella, and Shanann have to lose their lives in order for him to get what he wanted? Your Honor, justice demands the maximum sentence under the agreement reached by the parties. As you will recall, the agreement calls for life sentences as to Shanann, Bella, and Celeste, and all of those to run consecutively to one another. It also calls for the count of unlawful termination of a pregnancy as to Nico to run consecutively to counts 1, 2, and 3. I would suggest that the extreme aggravation present in the defendant's conduct and in the efforts that I have described mandate that the sentences for counts 7, 8, and 9, the tampering with a deceased human body, each be the maximum of 12 years, and that those sentences run consecutively to one another. It is very clear that each of these acts, that these were not the subject of one act, but each oil tank that he walked up with his daughter's bodies and the hole that he dug for his wife and unborn son mandate a mandatory consecutive sentence. It's been alluded to this morning, but the defendant was certainly eligible for the death penalty in this case under the existing law in the state of Colorado. As you heard, Shanann's family strongly opposed my office seeking the death penalty and being bound to the criminal justice system for the next several decades. That's in large part, as you've heard, why we have reached the agreement that we have. 4 lives were lost at the hands of the defendant on August 13th for reasons that we will never fully understand, nor will we know. In the end, the Rusick family was much more merciful towards him than he was towards his wife, his daughters, and his unborn son. Prison for the remainder of his life is exactly where he belongs for murdering his entire family. Thank you.
Hey guys, good morning, or I know for Colorado people it's good morning, good afternoon for everybody else. I wanted to come here live because today is the big day for the huge, our cocktail party is tonight where Product X is going to be released. We're super excited. We're heading to the pool right now, and then we have a massage today paid for by Lavelle today at 3:30. So Chris and I are super excited. So we're gonna get a massage after we lay by the pool for a little bit and maybe go to the beach again. And then we're going to go to the cocktail party. And we will be live there tonight.
I'm Cindy Watts.
Ron Watson. Thank you. And I have authorized you to make a statement to the court as paternal grandparents of the children. And if you choose not to make a statement, but your designee, Ms. Powers, chooses to, she can do so as well. How would you like to proceed today?
Can I read that? I want you to start, but I would like to read
Who's
that.
going to be speaking today?
Your Honor, initially, they've asked me, and they're hoping that they have the strength to speak, but if they do not, they've written out their statements and asked me to finish for them. So
That would be fine. Who would like to go first?
if I could start, Your Honor. On behalf of the Watts, Your Honor, and to the community, we thank you for the opportunity and the recognition under the Victim Bill of Rights. We come today as the grandparents and the parent of the daughter and children whose life was taken in this case. We are not here to ask for leniency. We are not in any way condoning or tolerating the crime that has occurred and the pain that has been caused. We join in our daughter-in-law and grandchildren's family in saying this should never have happened. This is not condonable. This is something that we will never get over. We appreciate the consideration that everyone has paid, most especially the families that have lost everyone. We appreciate that they begged for Christopher's life. We agree and echo what they have said, that it is not his place to take anyone's life, nor would it be our place as a community to take his life. So we thank you for the opportunity and for every consideration and effort that's been put out. The prosecution in this case has in fact respected the Victim Bill of Rights. They took the time to explain that the information that my clients had at the time that they were interviewed was not correct. They were misinformed, they were searching for answers, they were not intending to cause any pain to anyone, and they appreciate that the prosecution answered their questions and gave them the time and the respect and the consideration so that they could tell this court and everyone in this community that the interview content was not their message, that they accept that their son has done this, that they accept that he chose to plead guilty, that he sought and requested their consent and agreement for a life sentence. They appreciate that he is given the opportunity to serve that life sentence. It is his responsibility, it is his sentence, and it is not enough to make up for what has done. We understand and we join the family in that we have questions. We don't know how such a thing could possibly happen, or that a man that was responsible for raising his children and protecting his wife would take the steps that he did, and that he would disregard their bodies and the love that he had for them and they had for him and everyone else, and take the gestures and put this community through the investigation and the discovery and the responsibility of bringing justice. We do not understand that. We do not think it was appropriate. We cannot begin to think that an explanation will ever justify it. My clients indicate that they understand that a full opportunity for a confession with all of the responsibility and accountability has not occurred. And they support the family and the request that that happen, if not today, at an appropriate time, in an appropriate manner, so that everyone can have peace, to understand to the best of their ability the details that they need and to have their questions answered. And by giving this opportunity of a life sentence, we hope that he embraces that moment, that had the death penalty been pursued, there would not have been an opportunity to be accountable and to give a full confession. And had the death penalty been sought, counsel would have fought for his life, the prosecutors would have been engaged in a multiple-year battle, the families would have been torn apart, this community would have had to subsidize it and endure it, and we have so much respect and gratefulness that that did not happen. We would strongly encourage Christopher Watts to give that full confession in the tone and in the timing that he thinks is appropriate with the guidance of his counsel. We feel that it would be appropriate and helpful to ease the pain and the suffering. But we also say we don't think that there's anything that he can say that will ever account for his behavior. There's nothing that can be done to cure the harm he has caused. And he has the responsibility to serve his sentence with dignity and with regard for everyone, and to spend every breath that he has left in an atonement for what he has done. Do you want to read it?
If I could just have you state your name for the record.
Cindy Watts.
Thank you.
My name is Cindy Watts. I am the grandmother of two beautiful granddaughters, Bella Marie, Celeste Catherine Watts. I am also the mother of Christopher Watts, who I will be directing most of my statement to. First, I'd like to begin by recognizing the absolute horror of this crime and acknowledging the devastating loss that both the Rusek family as well as our family have faced. Our families have been irreparably broken by the needless deaths of Shanann, Bella, Cece, and Nico. This is something we will never get over. We will always mourn the loss of our family, and in that we are united in our grief. I am still struggling to understand how and why this tragedy occurred. I may never be able to understand and accept it, but I pray for peace and healing for all of us. Now to my son Christopher, I have known you since the day you were born into this world. I have watched you grow from a quiet and sweet, curious child who Bella reminded me so much of, to a young man who worked hard in sports and later mechanics to achieve your goals. You are a good friend, brother, father, and son. We have loved you from the beginning, and we still love you now. This might be hard for some to understand, how I can sit here under these circumstances and tell you, although we are heartbroken, although we can't imagine what could have led us to this day, but we love you. Maybe you can't believe it either. As the Lord said in Jeremiah 3:31, I have loved you with an everlasting love. Therefore, I have continued my faithfulness to you. And you, as your mother, Chris, I have always loved you, and I still do. I hate what has happened. Your father and sister and I are struggling to understand why. But we will remain faithful as your family, just as God remains faithful because of his unconditional love for us all. We love you, and we forgive you, son.
Thank you.
Judge, if I could read Mr. Watts' statement.
Yes.
My name is Ronnie Watts, and I am the grandfather of Bella, Celeste, Nico Watts, and I am the father of Shannon. I am the father of Christopher Watts as well. And one of the most important things I've done in my life is to raise my children and to watch as they started their own families. I spent many years coaching Little League and talking to my son, taking him to the races, and sharing my love and knowledge of cars with him. He was just as involved with his girls. I believe he loves his girls. I know he does. This tragedy has impacted my family in so many ways. Beyond losing my precious grandchildren, our beloved daughter-in-law, we are forced to question everything. We still don't have all the answers, and I hope one day, Christopher, you can help us. Chris, I want to talk to you as a father and son. You are here today accepting responsibility, but I want to tell you this now. I love you. Nothing will ever change that. And I want you to find peace. And today is your first step. The Bible says if we confess our sins, God is faithful and just and will forgive us. Chris, I forgive you, and your sister forgives you, and we will never abandon you, and we love you. Dad. Judge, thank you for the opportunity to address the court.
Presiding.
Good morning, and welcome to be seated. Okay, we are on the record. We are in Division 17 of the Weld County District Court, and we are here regarding Weld County case number 18CR2003, people of the state of Colorado versus Christopher Lee Watts. My name is Marcelo Cuptown, a district court judge here in Weld County, and I will be the presiding judge in this case. If I could please have the lawyers identify themselves in the record, starting with the prosecution.
Good morning, Your Honor. Michael Rourke on behalf of the people. Patrick Roach on behalf of the people.
Your Honor, John Walsh on behalf of the defense. Jay Merson on behalf of Mr. Watts. Thank you.
Thank you. report that you want to make a record regarding compliance with the Victims' Rights Act?
Yes, Your Honor, we are in compliance with the Victims' Rights Act. Frank Rusick, who is Shanann Watts' father, is present in the courtroom, as is Frankie Rusick, who is Shanann Watts' brother. They are present in the courtroom, and we have advised them of the purpose of today's hearing and what we expect to occur.
Thank you. Mr. Watts, last week I gave you a limited advisement because charges had not been filed. They have now been filed, so I'm going to give you a full advisement. If at any time you have any questions, please let me know, and welcome also to certainly consult with your attorneys, okay? Yes, sir. So, you do not need to make any statements. Any statements you make can be used against you. Do you understand? Yes, sir. You have the right to be represented by counsel, and if you're indigent, you have the right to request the appointment of counsel or consult with the public defender before any further proceedings are held, and I see that you've taken advantage of that right. Any plea that you make must be made voluntarily and not the result of undue influence or coercion. You understand? Yes, sir. At this point, I have denied your right to bail, given the charges. You can certainly have a conversation shortly about that issue. You have the right to understand the nature of the charges. We'll go over that in a moment. You have the right to a jury trial. You also have the right to demand and receive a preliminary hearing within a reasonable time to determine whether probable cause exists to believe that the offenses charged were committed by you. Do you understand? Yes, sir. I assume that the defense has received a copy of the complaint and information. Mr. Watts, let me explain to you what you have been formally charged with and what the possible penalties are. Count 1 alleges that on or about August 13, 2018, Christopher Lee Watts unlawfully, feloniously, after deliberation, and with the intent to cause the death of a person other than himself, caused the death of Shanna Watts in violation of Colorado Revised Statutes 18-3-102, subsection 1, subsection 8. And that crime is classified as murder in the first degree, a class 1 felony. Do you understand? Count 2 alleges murder in the first degree, also a class 1 felony, and it reads that between and including August 12, 2018 and August 13, 2018, Christopher Lee Watts unlawfully, feloniously, after deliberation, and with the intent to cause the death of a person other than himself, caused the death of Bella Watts in violation of Colorado Revised Statutes 18-3-102, subsection 1, subsection 8. Do you understand? Yes, sir. Count 3 alleges murder in the first degree, a class 1 felony, and specifically it alleges that between and including August 12, 2018 and August 13, 2018, Christopher Lee Watts unlawfully, feloniously, after deliberation, and with the intent to cause the death of a person other than himself, caused the death of Celeste Watts in violation of Colorado Revised Statutes 18-3-102, subsection 1, subsection 8. Do you understand? Count 4 alleges murder in the first degree, a class 1 felony. It alleges that between and including August 12, 2018 and August 13, 2018, Christopher Lee Watts unlawfully, feloniously, and knowingly caused the death of Bella Watts, a child who had not yet attained 12 years of age, and the defendant was in a position of trust with respect to the victim in violation of Colorado Revised Statutes 18-3-102, subsection 1, subsection F. Do you understand? Yes, sir. Count 5 alleges murder in the first degree, a class 1 felony. It alleges that between and including August 12, 2018 and August 13, 2018, Christopher Lee Watts unlawfully, feloniously, and knowingly caused the death of Celeste Watts, a child who had not yet attained 12 years of age, and the defendant was in a position of trust with respect to the victim in violation of Colorado Revised Statutes 18-3-102, subsection 1, subsection F. Do you understand? Yes, sir. With regard to these first 5 counts, the minimum sentence that the court could impose if convicted is life imprisonment in the Colorado Department of Corrections, and the maximum sentence is death. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Let me also point out that pursuant to Rule 32.1 of the Rules of Criminal Procedure, the prosecutor would have to file a written statement of intent to seek the death penalty no later than 63 days after arraignment. Do you understand? If a life imprisonment sentence was imposed, it would be without the possibility of parole. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Count 6 alleges a Class 2 felony of unlawful termination of pregnancy in the first degree. Specifically, it alleges that on or about August 13, 2018, Christopher Lee Watts, with the intent to terminate unlawfully the pregnancy of a woman, namely Jeanette Watts, feloniously and unlawfully terminated the pregnancy of the woman. Further, the woman died as a result of the unlawful termination of the pregnancy in violation of Colorado Revised Statutes 18-3.5-103. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
The possible penalties, if convicted for this crime, is a mandatory minimum 16 years in prison up to 48 years in prison, followed by an additional mandatory parole period of 5 years. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Count 7 alleges tampering with a deceased human body, a Class 3 felony. It alleges that on or about August 13, 2018, Christopher Lee Watts, believing that an official proceeding was pending, in progress, or about to be instituted, and acting without legal right or authority, unlawfully and feloniously, willfully destroyed, mutilated, concealed, removed, or altered a human body, part of a human body, or human remains with the intent to impair it or their appearance or availability in the official proceedings in violation of Colorado Revised Statutes 18-8-610.5. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Count 8 alleges also tampering with a deceased human body, a Class 3 felony. It alleges that on or about August 13, 2018, Christopher Lee Watts, believing that an official proceeding was pending, in progress, or about to be instituted, and acting without legal right or authority, unlawfully and feloniously, willfully destroyed, mutilated, concealed, removed, or altered a human body, part of a human body, or human remains with the intent to impair its or their appearance or availability in the official proceeding in violation of Colorado Revised Statutes 18-8-610.5. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
And finally, count 9 alleges tampering with a deceased human body, a Class 3 felony. It alleges that on or about August 13, 2018, Christopher Lee Watts, believing that an official proceeding was pending, in progress, or about to be instituted, and acting without legal right or authority, unlawfully and feloniously, willfully destroyed, mutilated, concealed, removed, or altered a human body, part of a human body, or human remains with the intent to impair its or their appearance or availability in the official proceeding in violation of Colorado Revised Statutes 18-8-610.5. With regard to counts 7, 8, and 9, those Class 3 felonies carry a presumptive range of 4 to 12 years in the Colorado Department of Corrections. If there were sufficient mitigating circumstances, the minimum could be as low as 2 years. If there were sufficient aggravating circumstances, as many as 24 years. And any prison sentence would be followed by an additional mandatory parole period of 3 years. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions about what I've said so far?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Merston, has your office filed a written intent to seek a proof evident presumptive for a hearing?
Not yet, Judge, but we will be following that. This case will be Mr. Walsh's and Ms. Harold's. They were the attorneys listed on the, I believe, the most recent pleading from the defense.
Okay, thank you. And I would point out, Mr. Watts, that the prosecution also indicated in the complaint and information that these were acts of domestic violence. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. And so, Mr. Walsh, what is your request today?
Your Honor, considering that haven't received any discovery of the case. We're not in a good position at this point to advise the court about what kind of time we'll need. My suggestion to the court is that the court allow Mr. Watts to reserve the preliminary hearing in the case, reserve the proof evident hearing, and set the matter for a status conference about 60 days out.
So just to be clear, he is waiving his right to have a preliminary hearing within 35 days, that he's not seeking a proof evident presumption great hearing prior to the setting of the status conference in about 60 days, but he's reserving his right to have those hearings in the future, but not necessarily within 35 days. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor. We've spoken about those issues.
And do you understand what we're talking about, Mr. Watts?
Yes.
Do you have any questions about that? Okay. And Mr. Rourke, do you have any objection to that request?
No, Your Honor, that seems like the prudent way to proceed at this point.
Okay. Let me give you a date that has, so 60 days is about October 20th or so. I have October 11th. Does that date work for the parties? I can go a little bit further if you like as well.
I think a little bit further would make sense, Your Honor. Thank you.
How about November 19th? While we're waiting for lawyers to let me make a record that the court's going to find that Mr. Watts is knowingly, intelligently, and voluntarily waiving his right to have a preliminary hearing within 35 days. And while he has not asked for a proof evident presumption great hearing yet, I'm told that he will, but he's not requesting that hearing prior to the status conference that we're setting today. Agreed?
Yes. That date works fine with the defense, Your Honor. Thank you.
Your Honor, I spoke to the Rusiks, and that is fine with the people as well as the victim's family.
How is late morning on November 19th?
Anytime, Your Honor. Late morning is fine.
Very good. How about 10:30?
That'll work for the people.
And that will be in Division 16. I apologize for the bouncing around of division, but my courtroom obviously is not big enough, and I will keep you updated on where the divisions are going to be, but the next court date will be in Division 16. Are there any other questions, comments, concerns, anything that we can address today before us recessing?
I think there are a couple of things outstanding, Your Honor, and first I wanted to address one very ministerial point of clarification with respect to the standing decorum order that the court entered yesterday. By its terms, and when the court defines the applicable areas, that includes my office, specifically the boundaries of the district attorney's office. I just wanted to make a request for clarification that the terms of this order do not apply to the conduct that occurs within my office itself.
Agreed.
Thank you. Otherwise, I have provided a copy of this to the employees of my office, and we will be providing it to law enforcement after this hearing is fine.
Thank you. I also intend on issuing a case management order later today, so be on the lookout for that.
I don't know if the court has the desire at this point this morning to address a couple of the other outstanding motions that the Public Defender's Office has filed that we had entered or filed responses to. We have not addressed motions 2, 3, 5, and 7. And those are the defense motions 2, 3, 5, and 7. And for the record, our responses were C, D, E, and F.
I don't have those motions in front of me, but I know that I issued a number of written orders yesterday. Did you receive those?
I received written orders, but not as it relates to those 4, so perhaps they just haven't reached my desk yet.
If they haven't yet, I will issue a written ruling. We'll be getting them shortly. But I issued a number of orders yesterday.
Your Honor, does that include, I did get the order on motion 5 and motion 7. Does that include motions 2 and 3 then that the court would?
Remind me what 2 and 3 are again?
Motion 2 is the motion to allow confidential defense experts to be present for any testing. And we did have a bit of additional argument on that if the court wanted to hear it. Motion 3 is a motion for a protective order.
I prefer that you put it in writing, and then I'll issue a written order with regard to that. Is that something that's time sensitive?
I think it could be, Your Honor. I can't speak for the district attorney, but it could be.
I can tell the court, understanding what Mr. Walsh is referring to in motion number 2, it is not something that is going to occur in the next day or two, so it's not time sensitive in that respect.
So you'll be received, if you want to put something in writing, you're welcome to, and I will issue a written order in a timely manner.
Does the court want to give us a deadline for that?
Sure, when would you like to file a response?
I can have it done in a day or two.
Okay. And so, do you have control, Mr. Warren, as to when the testing is going to occur?
Absolutely. I can certainly make clear to our forensic agents that pending the litigation or the receipt of a court order on this, that we will not do any forensic testing.
That'd be great. So did you want to have time to file a reply to the response?
If necessary, if I could have 3 business days to file a response to whatever Mr. Walsh files in the next couple of days, I would appreciate that.
Okay, so Mr. Walsh, can you have something filed by close of business tomorrow?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so close of business on Monday, Mr. Warren?
Yes, sir.
Then I'll have something to the parties by midweek next week.
Thank you.
Any other issues that we can resolve today?
Not from the people now.
No, Your Honor. Okay. Okay, we are in recess. Thank you for your time.
I'll go get you when we're done.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Thanks. So go ahead and have a seat right here, Chris.
sit on this?
Yep, I know. I'll explain what that is here in a little bit, but you don't have to worry. It's not on or anything right now. It's not gonna buzz you or anything.
I've never done this before.
I know. A lot of people haven't had polygraphs before. It's not like a normal thing that people go through. A lot of people, like obviously in law enforcement and places like that, they have to go through polygraphs for their job. But other than that, most people never take a polygraph in their entire life. So.
Yeah, so I have like no idea like what to expect, honestly.
Yeah. So how are you feeling today?
I'm sick to my stomach, honestly. Like, the first day I thought, okay, she was just somewhere.
Sure.
And after yesterday, all the activity at my house, I didn't know, it went to the other extreme. I've just been like sick to my stomach that either somebody has her or she's in trouble and the kids are not safe either.
Right, right. Well, and I think that's totally awesome that you're here today. I mean, I commend you. We do this in all of our missing person cases, so don't think that we're just singling you out like, oh my gosh, they want me to take a polygraph. Anytime, you know, someone was the last person to see people or, you know, it's a missing person case, we start from the inside and we work out. I mean, that's pretty much what we do. So I've done polygraphs on the Jessica Ridgway case. I don't know if you were here for that.
The name sounds familiar.
The little girl that went missing in Westminster and all that, yeah. And then just the one that we had in Thornton last year or the year before. So we do this all the time. So please don't think that you're being singled out. Like this is one way that if you didn't have anything to do with it, that we can let the investigators know, the people that really do need to know, that are looking for your wife and your little girls, to let them know, like, you know what, don't focus on Chris, focus over here, because obviously we've already cleared him, he's good to go. Now focus on the real person that did something to this, you know,
okay.
to Shannon and little girls. So okay. So I am, my name is Tammy. If you can call me Tammy, I'm an agent with the Colorado Bureau of Investigation. So it's a CBI. It's kind of like the FBI, but for Colorado.
Okay.
So what our role is, just so you know, is anytime a law enforcement agency or a district attorney's office or the governor needs assistance with a case, they can call the CBI to come out and assist them.
Okay.
So obviously in this, you know, type of case, they're calling in all the resources that they can, which includes me, who works out of the Denver office, and I also do polygraphs. So they asked me if I would be willing to come here and chat with you and hopefully get you cleared up and on your way, because it sounds like that's what you're here for, and
yeah,
that's awesome, because that's mostly what people want to do is like, dude, you're the wrong person. Like, I just want to show you I had nothing to do with this, and then you guys can get on your way and, you know, do your investigation somewhere else. So, Because that helps us, because then we don't have to keep focusing on Chris. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay. This polygraph today is going to be recorded.
Okay.
Obviously, it would be dumb if I didn't, because what if at the end I said you said whatever and you really didn't say it? Obviously, they could go back and look at the recording. There's a camera right there. And there's also a backup digital.
In the hours when most houses are nothing more than dark shapes against a sleeping street, a different kind of quiet can take hold, one that does not feel restful but staged. It settles into the seams of a neighborhood built on predictability, where the rhythms of ordinary life are so dependable that they begin to seem permanent. Porches hold seasonal decorations. Garage doors stand like closed eyelids. Driveways are empty. The air is cool, thin, and clean as if the world has been rinsed overnight, and yet in places like this the calm can be misleading. Not because danger announces itself, but because it rarely does. It does not arrive with shattered windows or sirens. It arrives with the smallest absences. A light that is not turned on, a car that does not move, a message that goes unanswered long enough to feel wrong. It arrives with a domestic stillness that begins to harden into something unrecognizable. There are crimes that begin with a scream and crimes that begin with silence. The story of Chris Watts belongs to the second category, the kind that seems impossible until it is no longer possible to deny it. It is the kind of case that forces the mind to confront a question it does not want to hold. How can a life built to appear stable, ordinary, even enviable, conceal a collapse so complete that the outer walls never show a crack until the moment they fall? In August of 2018, the town of Frederick, Colorado, sat in the long shadow of Denver's expanding edge, a place shaped by growth and the promise of a settled future. Subdivisions multiplied in the open land. Streets curved gently, designed for families, for bicycles, for routine. The houses were modern, symmetrical, and close enough to one another that neighbors could recognize the patterns of each other's lives, who left early, who came home late, who walked the dog after dinner, who rolled the trash bins to the curb before sunrise. In this environment, familiarity becomes a kind of invisible surveillance. It is not an official watchfulness, but a social one. People notice. They absorb. They take comfort in repetition. The Watts family appeared to fit neatly into this landscape. A married couple with 2 young children. A house with the outward signals of progress, the space, the decor, the photographs, the curated image of a young family moving forward. Their life, viewed from the outside, carried the recognizable signs of modern aspiration. Work, parenting, social presence, the display of milestones and routines that suggested happiness through visibility. But a family can be visible and still unknown. An image can be bright and still conceal a darkening interior. In the weeks leading up to the disappearance, the atmosphere around the family was not defined by a single dramatic rupture. It was shaped by incremental strain, the kind that does not announce itself as a crisis until it has already become one. The tension did not necessarily appear as loud conflict. It appeared as distance, as emotional subtraction. As the sense that a connection once assumed had begun to loosen, thread by thread, without anyone outside the household seeing the unraveling. The marriage, like many marriages, existed in 2 versions simultaneously, the version shown to the world and the version lived in private. The public version was composed and legible, family photographs, planned outings, an online narrative that presented unity, energy, and involvement. The private version, by later accounts and observable developments, carried a different weight. The private version was quieter, colder, and increasingly unstable. Chris Watts, a man who moved through life with an outward calm, did not fit the cultural stereotype of volatility. There was nothing theatrical about him. His appearance, his demeanor, the way he held himself in everyday contexts, suggested a person who blended easily into a crowd. In a neighborhood full of people striving for normalcy, he looked like normalcy. He looked like a man who would quietly go to work, quietly return home, quietly play the role assigned to him by the architecture of his life. Shannon Watts, by contrast, appeared more visibly engaged with the structure of family identity. She was active, communicative, and present in the way many modern parents are present, organizing, sharing, documenting, sustaining the narrative of the family as a living thing. Her visibility did not mean her life was simple. It meant she carried the weight of making it appear cohesive. 2 young children, still small enough to define the tempo of a household, anchored the family's outward image. In such homes, the day is often a sequence of tasks, meals, baths, sleep schedules, school drop-offs, small rituals repeated until they become the scaffolding of a life. The presence of children can create an illusion of stability even when the adults are drifting apart behind the scenes. The routines remain. The house still functions. The world still sees a family, but routine can also conceal fracture. It can hide the moment when a relationship stops being a shared future and starts becoming a shared obligation. In the summer of 2018, there were signs, subtle at first and then increasingly difficult to ignore, that the Watts household was shifting. Those signs did not necessarily manifest as events that could be pinned down on a calendar for an outsider. They were emotional signals, changes in behavior, changes in closeness, changes in responsiveness. The kind of changes that, in hindsight, appear like warning lights but in real time can be rationalized as stress, fatigue, a difficult season, a temporary phase. This is how many domestic disasters begin, not with a sudden collapse but with a gradual thinning of empathy until the emotional center of the home becomes hollow. People can live in the same rooms and still become strangers. They can share the same bed and still be separated by a private world of thoughts they no longer disclose. They can look functional while something inside them quietly rearranges into something else. It is important to understand the setting of this story not just as geography, but as psychological terrain. A suburban home is designed to contain life, to put it behind walls, to make it orderly, to make it private. The neighborhood itself is quiet by design. It reduces the unpredictability of the outside world. It offers controlled streets, controlled appearances, controlled impressions. Within such spaces, the internal dynamics of a family can be obscured so thoroughly that even significant distress leaves no visible trace. By early August, Shannon had been away from Colorado for a period of time, traveling and spending time with family. During such separations, relationships can either soften or splinter. Distance can create longing or it can expose what is missing. It can remove the daily obligation to perform a role and reveal what someone truly feels when they are alone with themselves. For some, distance is relief. For others, it is terror. In the days before her return, the atmosphere surrounding the family was already heavy, even if the outside world did not recognize it. There is a distinct feeling to a household on the edge of a rupture, a tension that hangs in the air like weather. The rooms feel tighter. Silence becomes louder. Ordinary objects feel like props in a play that no longer has a stable script. When Shannon returned to Colorado in the early hours of August 13, 2018, the night carried the kind of stillness that makes footsteps feel amplified. Travel has its own exhaustion, a drained physical heaviness that settles into the body, especially when the return is late. A front door closes softly. Shoes are removed. A suitcase is pulled across a floor with careful restraint as if not to wake sleeping children. A house holds its breath. In many homes, that kind of return would be met with a familiar warmth, however tired. In a strained home, the return feels different. It feels like an arrival into a space that has changed while the traveler was away. A traveler can sense it immediately. The air is wrong, the silence is wrong, the emotional temperature is wrong. It is not always a dramatic feeling, but it is unmistakable, the sense that something has happened or is happening, even if nothing has been said. What occurred inside the Watts home in the hours that followed is a matter of reconstruction rather than direct observation. The walls of a private house do not release their secrets willingly. They keep them, sealed behind drywall and closed curtains unless evidence forces the truth outward. The world outside does not see what happens in a bedroom, a hallway, a kitchen in the dark when everyone else is asleep. But by morning, the ordinary world began to register something that did not fit. As daylight grew stronger over Frederick, the neighborhood returned to its expected rhythm. People left for work. Cars backed out of driveways. The world continued in its normal pattern because the world always continues until it is interrupted. Then the interruption began in a small, unsettling form, the absence of Shannon and the children from their expected routines. Messages went unanswered. Calls were not returned. There is a particular kind of anxiety that emerges when someone who is usually responsive becomes suddenly unreachable. At first, it can be explained away: sleep, fatigue, a phone left charging in another room. But as time passes, the explanations thin out. Concern begins to replace assumption. In cases like this, the earliest moments of discovery are rarely cinematic. They are mundane, made of small actions. Someone tries another call, checks again, waits another hour. The fear builds in the gaps, in the seconds of silence after a phone rings and rings. It is an incremental dread, rising with each failed attempt to make contact. Before any official process becomes involved, before the machinery of investigation exists in the story at all, there is usually a private moment when someone realizes something is wrong and cannot be undone by rationalizing it away. That moment is both simple and devastating. It is the moment when concern crosses into panic, when the mind begins to imagine scenarios it does not want to consider. Soon, the Watts home was no longer simply a home. It became a focal point. The driveway, the front door, the interior spaces that once held ordinary domestic life began to be viewed through a different lens. One of absence, of uncertainty, of the possibility that the people who lived there had vanished into something darker than anyone wanted to name. Chris Watts, still physically present, became the only immediate human link to the missing members of his household. In the aftermath of a disappearance, the behavior of the person left behind is often scrutinized not because suspicion is inevitable, but because the human mind looks for coherence. People ask, silently and then openly, how is he moving, how is he speaking, how is he reacting? Does he appear frantic? Does he appear detached? Is there urgency in his body or stillness? In this case, the stillness became part of the story early. Not because calm is proof of anything, human responses to crisis vary widely, but because the calm appeared in a context where the situation demanded an intensity that did not visibly manifest. In the beginning, the missing person narrative can resemble a desperate search, a flurry of possibilities, an accident, an impulsive departure, a misunderstanding. People hope for the simplest explanation, even when the simplest explanation makes little sense. They look for a scenario that preserves life. They search for a reason that does not involve irreversible loss. But a disappearance inside a family home carries different implications than a disappearance in the wider world. When someone vanishes from a house with their car still present, their belongings still inside, their routine interrupted midstream, the story becomes narrower and more ominous. It becomes less about where they might have gone and more about what might have happened before they could go anywhere at all. The house itself becomes a silent witness, and silent witnesses are read through what they leave behind. In the Watts home, certain objects became immediately significant, not because objects speak, but because they represent choices. A purse left behind suggests a departure that was not planned. A phone abandoned in the house suggests disconnection from the outside world that is inconsistent with voluntary disappearance. Children's items left as if the day would continue suggest that the day did not continue. These are the kinds of details that, in hindsight, form the early architecture of a case. They are not dramatic on their own, but together they create a picture of disruption. And disruption inside a domestic environment often points inward, toward the people closest to the missing. As the day progressed, the sense of normalcy continued to erode. The neighborhood, once just a backdrop of quiet houses, began to feel like a stage with a missing cast. The home became a center of attention, not because it looked different, but because its emptiness did. Even in the absence of direct statements, even without hearing anyone speak, one can observe how such scenes typically unfold, people arriving, moving through rooms with careful urgency, looking for signs that might suggest a direction, a clue, a reason. The air changes. The house, once warm with daily life, becomes tense and clinical. Each room becomes a question. A disappearance is not merely the absence of people. It is the sudden conversion of an ordinary space into a site of uncertainty. It transforms familiar objects into potential evidence. It transforms daily clutter into a map of what might have happened in the last normal hours. And as that transformation occurs, the person left behind becomes a central figure in two ways at once, as a possible source of answers, and as a possible source of the disappearance itself. Chris Watts' life in those early hours and days began to compress around a single point: what happened to his family. The question did not sit outside him. It hovered around him, pressed against him, shaping every observation made about him. In cases where a spouse or partner remains while the others vanish, the public imagination tends to swing quickly between two impulses, sympathy and suspicion. Sometimes those impulses coexist, sometimes they collide. What made this case particularly unsettling, even before it fully unfolded, was how quickly the outward image of the family began to conflict with the underlying reality. There are families that are visibly troubled long before tragedy, families whose instability is recognized by outsiders. The Watts family, at least in public presentation, did not belong to that category. Their life had been displayed as one of forward motion, of planned futures, of the ongoing documentation of ordinary joys. When a family like that disappears, it creates cognitive dissonance. The mind resists. It insists there must be an explanation that preserves the picture. But the picture, in the end, is never the reality. It is only the surface. As the investigation progressed, observed only through what becomes visible rather than through voices, the narrative began to shift from missing persons to potential crime. This shift is often marked by a change in tone and activity. The urgency becomes more focused. The attention to detail becomes sharper. The home is no longer merely searched, it is examined. Patterns are studied, timelines are refined, movements are traced. Evidence does not arrive like a single revelation, it accumulates like weight. Each piece adds pressure until the story can no longer remain in its initial form. In this case, part of what emerged involved the digital footprint of a modern life. In the contemporary world, people leave traces constantly through phones, through messages, through location data, through the subtle record of daily actions that technology captures without emotion. These traces do not interpret themselves, but they can be assembled. They can indicate when someone moved, when they stopped moving, when they left a place, when they did not. The modern investigation is often a reconstruction of time built from fragments. A moment recorded by a device, a movement captured by a camera, a sequence inferred from patterns. As these fragments were gathered, the narrative grew more defined. The focus narrowed toward Chris Watts, not merely as the last known person in proximity to his family, but as the central figure whose actions could be examined against the timeline of their disappearance. The shift from missing to suspected is not a theatrical pivot, it is a gradual tightening of logic. It is the realization that the circumstances do not support innocence by default. It is the accumulation of inconsistencies, small, sometimes subtle, but persistent enough that they begin to form a shape. In the background of this tightening logic was another thread, one that often appears in cases of domestic collapse, the existence of an alternative emotional life. Marriages under strain do not always break outwardly. Sometimes they fracture inwardly, and one person begins to live a separate narrative inside the same calendar. In such situations, the domestic household becomes a kind of container, still functioning, still visible, but no longer emotionally shared. When a person begins to imagine a different life, the current life can start to feel like an obstacle. This is not a universal truth, and it is not a moral pronouncement. It is a psychological phenomenon observed repeatedly in cases where family annihilation occurs, the internal construction of a future that excludes the present, and the perception that the present must be erased rather than endured. evidence suggesting an affair or a relationship outside the marriage became part of the broader understanding of the Watts case. In true crime narratives, affairs are sometimes treated sensationally, but the deeper relevance is structural. They can indicate a reorientation of priorities, a shift in attachment, a secret life developing alongside the official one. They can reveal where attention has moved, where desire has gone, where resentment might be building. In a stable marriage, an affair is a rupture. In an unstable marriage, it can be an escape route. And when the person seeking escape does not have the emotional capacity to confront conflict directly, the escape route can become entangled with fantasy, an imagined clean break, an imagined life without complications, without responsibilities, without the slow, painful process of separation. The problem with fantasy is that it does not tolerate reality well. Reality has legal obligations. Reality has financial strain. Reality has children who cannot be willed out of existence. Reality has consequences. In the days after Shannon and the children disappeared, the public narrative of concern began to clash with the private weight of emerging evidence. It was not merely that they were missing. It was that the circumstances surrounding their absence did not align with normal human behavior. And the story did what true crime stories often do, despite everyone's initial resistance, it turned inward. Eventually, the case moved beyond the home and into other locations tied to Chris Watts' life, his work routines, his movements, the places he had access to during the crucial hours. In many investigations, the geography of a crime becomes a second language, a way of reading intention. A home suggests intimacy. A workplace suggests opportunity. A remote site suggests concealment. In this case, one such site would become central, a place that represented not family life but industrial function. A landscape of equipment and routine labor, distant from suburban streets. The contrast between the domestic and the industrial is jarring, the soft, child-centered world of a family home against the hard, indifferent machinery of a work site. One feels human. The other feels indifferent to humanity. As the investigation tightened, the narrative began to reveal itself not as a mystery of disappearance, but as a tragedy of deliberate destruction. The missing were not merely lost. They had been removed. This is the moment where many viewers of such a story experience a distinct psychological recoil, the realization that the person they thought they were watching, the ordinary husband in an ordinary house, is connected to something far beyond ordinary. The mind searches for an alternative explanation because the one emerging feels intolerable. But the case continued, driven forward not by speculation, but by the slow, relentless pressure of evidence. When the truth began to surface in fuller form, it did not arrive with dramatic flourish. It arrived with the heavy certainty that the missing were no longer alive. It arrived with the grim task of locating them, of bringing them back into the world in whatever form was possible, of transforming absence into a reality that could be legally and socially processed. At this stage in a case, the emotional atmosphere changes again. The hope that fueled the early hours collapses. The focus becomes recovery, accountability, and the reconstruction of what happened, not for curiosity, but because society demands a coherent narrative when a family has been erased. The details of such crimes can easily become graphic. In this telling, the emphasis remains on what can be observed and understood without descending into the mechanics of harm. The essence of the crime is not in the physical specifics, it is in the psychological act of annihilation. A family was removed from existence by the person closest to them, inside the very structure meant to protect them. That is the horror, not spectacle, not blood. The horror is proximity. As Chris Watts' role became undeniable, the case entered the phase where a legal system must take a private catastrophe and translate it into public procedure. Courtrooms are not built for grief, they are built for process. They are rooms of controlled language, controlled movement, controlled outcomes. They are places where people sit rigidly, where time is segmented into hearings and filings and appearances, where personal devastation is forced into a format that can be handled. When this case moved into court, the atmosphere would have carried the weight typical of such proceedings. A room filled with stillness, with faces that could not hide what had been lost, with the tension of a narrative now fixed in place. The accused, present in body, would become a focal point not as a character delivering words, but as an object of observation. Posture, expression, the way the body occupies space when the story surrounding it has become monstrous. Families, when present, often appear in court not as participants, but as survivors of an event that has shattered their conception of reality. They sit under the fluorescent glare of institutional lighting, holding themselves together through sheer will. Their grief is visible not in dramatic gestures, but in the small signs of strain, the tightened jaw, the fixed stare, the tremor of controlled breath. In such rooms, grief is not expressed, it is endured. The courtroom process in cases like this does not restore anything. It does not undo, it does not heal, it organizes, it assigns legal meaning. It determines punishment. It creates a record. For the public, it provides a form of closure, but closure is often a deceptive word. Closure suggests an ending that resolves the emotional reality. In truth, court can only resolve the legal narrative. The emotional narrative continues indefinitely. As the case concluded legally, what remained was the lingering, heavy question that always follows family annihilation. How did this happen inside a life that looked so ordinary? How did a person who appeared calm become capable of erasing the people closest to him? How did the mechanisms of daily life, work, parenting, marriage become the framework for something so catastrophic? The mind returns again and again to the early images, the quiet street, the neat house, the curated family moments. It returns because it is trying to reconcile the visible with the invisible. And this is where the story becomes less about the crime itself and more about the silence surrounding it before it occurred. The silence of a marriage breaking. The silence of resentment growing. The silence of internal fantasies replacing external commitments. The silence that can exist between two adults sharing a home, a silence so complete that the outside world never hears it. In the aftermath, the Watts house stood as a physical object, unchanged in architecture but transformed in meaning. The rooms remained, the windows remained, the driveway remained, but the life that gave them purpose was gone. A family home, once a symbol of future, became a container for absence, Communities struggle with such transformations. Neighbors struggle. They look at a familiar house and feel a new kind of fear, not fear of a stranger, but fear of what can happen behind closed doors in any home. The case disrupts the comforting assumption that evil is obvious, that danger has a recognizable face, that disaster announces itself loudly enough to be avoided. Instead, it suggests something more disturbing, that collapse can be quiet, and that ordinary appearances can coexist with extraordinary violence. The enduring impact of the case is not confined to one family, one street, one town. It extends outward into the collective imagination because it touches a foundational social belief. That family is a safe unit, that home is a refuge, that intimacy is protection. When that belief is violated, the violation resonates. It creates an echo of unease that does not fade quickly. And even when the legal story is complete, even when the public knows the outcome, the deeper questions remain unsettled. They do not have clean answers because they involve the hidden interior of a human being, the private thoughts that no camera captures, the emotional failures that do not leave fingerprints until they manifest as catastrophe. In the end, the story of Chris Watts does not resolve into a neat moral lesson or a single explanatory cause. It remains what it was from the beginning, an unsettling reminder that a carefully arranged life can still be collapsing inside, and that sometimes the first visible sign of that collapse is the moment everything is already gone. If you want me to continue this script toward greater detail in the investigative progression and the courtroom atmosphere, still strictly in narrator voice with no dialogue or quotes, reply with Kant.
I feel like you're probably ready to do that.
I didn't lie to you on that polygraph, I promise.
Chris,
I know.
Chris, stop. It's time. Just stop for a minute. Take a deep breath. I want you to take a deep breath right now.
There's a reason you feel sick to your stomach. And when people hold stuff inside, it makes you physically ill. And I can just tell on your face, I could tell from the second you walked in that you were wanting to just come clean and just be done with this. And I appreciate that because you knew sitting down in that chair that you weren't going to pass today, and you knew I was going to find out because I told you that. And then you continued to stay knowing that you could, at the end, say, you know what, I just need to get this off my chest. Like, I just need to tell you what happened. We're not here to play games. We're not here to do any of that with you. We just want to know what happened. So can you start from the beginning and tell us what happened?
Everything that I have told you, I did not lie on this polygraph. I don't know how much I could tell you right now. Like, I did not.
It's not even an option right now because you did not pass the polygraph. So I know you were being deceptive. So that's not even an issue right now. The issue right now is what happened to Shanann, Bella, and Celeste. That's the issue right now.
Okay.
Okay. So let's talk about that.
I
know you want to tell us. I can see it in your face. Holding this lie in is going to do nothing for you.
I know this. Like, okay. I'm not like trying to like cover things up. Like.
Yeah, but you kind of are because it's normal. Normal people would do that. Normal people that make a mistake initially are going to go, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't do anything. That's normal. I would expect that. It's just like if you ask your kid, did you write on the wall? And they go, no. And you're like, you have a marker on your hand. Like, I know you just wrote on the wall. And they're like, oh, okay. That's a natural reaction that someone's going to initially lie about something like that and then eventually tell the truth. So this is your eventually telling the truth time. This is where the rubber meets the road, Chris. Like, don't let this continue any longer, please.
I'm not trying to make anything continue. Like, I want them back home, like...
But you know they're not coming back home. You know that.
I don't know in the back of my head. I hope they come back home.
But you know they're not.
I hope they come back home.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know they're not coming back home.
Chris, Tammy and I are confused, okay? And here's what we're confused about. I told you that we've done some work overnight.
Yeah.
I told you that we've got a lot of leads, okay? That wasn't a lie.
I know.
We know a lot more than you think we do, okay? And here's where we're confused. You're this great guy, and I'm not just telling you that, okay? I'm telling you that because everyone tells us that, okay? We can't find anyone to say anything bad about you. Chris is a great guy. He's a good father. He's a good man. We're confused as to why you're not taking care of your beautiful children.
I'm not taking care of them right now.
Right now. Where are they?
I don't know where they're at. I do not know where they are at. If I could have my babies back home right now, I would. I want them back. I want everybody back. That is the God's honest truth.
So let's keep talking about your family, okay? We just can't figure out why there's two Chris's, okay? We talked about that last night.
Yes.
We just can't figure it out. There's a Chris, okay? If somebody asked me my kid's child routine, I would say, I don't know, go ask their mom. That's the truth, right? And so it is very surprising to me, and it warms my heart that you're the type of dad who can pack a bag in the morning, and you know just what to put in there, and you know just what to put in there as a backup in case they have an accident, okay? You know what the clothes to put in there, you know what they have for breakfast, you know what they have for a snack, and a dinner, and a nighttime snack. You can tell me the book you read to your daughters, okay? I know you love them, and you're not faking that, are you? It's real, okay? There's a lot of guys who come in here and try to tell me that, and I know they're lying, okay? Because they can't answer those questions that you can answer, okay? But you are here today lying about something else. So we need to talk about that, okay?
I cheated on her.
I know. And this is very good. Keep
I'm not proud of it. I didn't think anything like that could happen. I didn't think I'd ever do it, but I did.
I know. Keep going.
And she accused me of it. I denied it. I cheated on her, and I feel horrible for it. Like, she was pregnant, and it was... I don't want to... I didn't hurt her. I cheated on her. I hurt her emotionally. I cheated on her. And I feel absolutely horrible about this, but that's what I've been holding. I think when I didn't go to the Rocky game, I was with her.
Okay.
I went to dinner with her.
Okay. Keep going.
That 5 weeks I was alone, I was with her most of the time.
Okay. You're doing a good job. This is the Chris that I knew would come out today. This is the Chris who tells the truth because you're a truth teller.
I'm gonna tell you I fell out of love because I fell in love with her.
Absolutely.
Okay? I mean, that's God's honest truth.
Okay. Who is her?
So I don't want to get her involved in this. I don't want to ruin her life. Like, if something like this, I don't want her involved in this.
Okay. So can we talk about that a little bit?
Yes.
I knew that you would say you didn't want to get her involved.
But
because you'd like to take care of people.
She's a wonderful person. Like, I mean, she knew I was married, yes. And I told her we were going through issues, yes.
Yes.
And I told her that, you know, we were going to get, you know, at the end, like, you're going to get separated. Like, once I figured out what that was, I didn't know what that was going to be.
I know.
I had no idea. I like, you know, I saw her, took my breath away, and I'd never thought in a million years that could happen.
I know.
I know you think I'm a figure, like, but like, it was, I never felt that way about anybody in my lifetime.
Mm-hmm. Chris, that's not your fault, man.
No, I'm just.
Well, can we do this? I know you want to take care of her because it's because you're the type of guy who takes care of women. It is. You took care of your wife, you took care of your daughters, you were very good at taking care of her, and you want to take care of her. So can we make a deal? I don't think this girl did anything to hurt anybody, but I can't walk out of here wondering. So can we leave her out of it?
Okay.
Get back to your wife and your daughters.
Okay.
Where are they?
That I do not know. That was what I was holding back. Like, I didn't know, like, what I did. I know.
Chris, in the interview today, you weren't asked about infidelity. You were asked about...
I was holding back from last night.
That's not why you failed today.
That's not how that works. You would have reactions to every single question, not just the ones that we talked about being important.
Like the ones you wanted me to lie about, like, is that what you're talking about?
No, the ones about her disappearance and knowing where she's at, and about seeing her last.
I was not lying about those things. So
can I tell you what I think?
Yes.
Okay. So, going into that interview today with Tammy, where we strapped you in, we knew all about Nikki. Okay? All about her. And you're doing a very good job right now, because you didn't have to tell us about it, but you did.
I couldn't hold that in anymore.
I know. We could see it on your chest and in your eyes. Okay? Here's the challenge that we have. We knew about Nikki, and so we didn't need to ask you about her in the polygraph. We just didn't need to, because we knew. Okay? And so that's why we didn't ask you, because we already knew the answer. Okay? We're very, very worried about your daughters and your wife.
I am too.
Okay? So can I tell you, maybe based on the people that I've talked to, and Tammy's talked to, based on all the investigations we've done, based on your cell phone, both your cell phones, your wife's cell phone, Nikki's cell phone, okay, based on talking with family members and friends, and based on talking with everyone, here's what we know, okay? And I'm not going to lie to you right now. Here's what we know, okay? Chris is a good man. Everyone said it. Okay, I'm not just telling you that because I, want to blow smoke here. You're a good man, okay? Nobody can fake answers about packing a backpack. Nobody. You either pack a backpack for your kids or you don't, okay? This should have been the happiest time of your marriage, okay? You and Shanann. This should have been the happiest time. She's making a little money. She's making good money. You're making great money. You both have a job. You have beautiful kids. You have a beautiful house. You're in Colorado. Clean air, good people. Okay? And on top of that, you look pretty good now. You're pretty fit. Okay? This should have been a time in your marriage where you guys were happy and thriving and productive. Okay? And I believe that Shanann's the reason none of that happened. I believe that she's a controlling person. Maybe doesn't listen to you as much as she should. I think that she can do whatever she wants and you can't. Okay? I think if you were to go to a restaurant, she would order whatever the hell she wants. And as soon as you order a nice steak, she says, whoa, buddy. Okay? A woman that lets her man do all of the backpack packing and all of the cooking.
I'll do all the cooking, but she cooks like I do, like some things here and there.
Okay. That's because you're a good person, and I think that she started on the path to leave the marriage. Okay? It's ironic that we're talking about you and Nikki. I think that she was the one who started on that path first. What do you think about that?
I wouldn't have thought about that.
Okay. And the other thing I think is interesting is, even though she is that type of person that's controlling, doesn't listen, does what she wants, is walking away from her kids, here you are defending her. Because to your core, you want to take care of the people you love. Okay. And that's the reason why we want to give you an opportunity today to just help us find them. Okay? Will you do that for us?
I'll do whatever I can to help to find where they're at.
Okay. So when she asked you, do you know where they are, or are you going to tell the truth about where they are, you failed miserably.
Okay.
Why?
I'm a nervous person. Like every question I asked, every question, it felt like I couldn't say the right thing.
That's not how the polygraph works.
I don't know like what it reads like. I know she was saying about the autonomy of the process, but like I don't know where they're at.
Chris, right now your dad's outside. He flew across the country to help you. Okay. You're lying to him. You lied to everyone you talked to. And they all bought it. Will you please help us find your babies?
I want to find them. I've told you over and over, I want to find everyone.
Can we go back to that night?
Yeah.
You know that we have texts, and we know that there's an Alexa in your house, and you know that those are trained to record distress.
Okay.
You know that we know the content of Nikki's text messages and your text messages and Shanann's text messages. Okay?
I didn't know you knew who Nikki was until right now, so.
Okay. Tell us about that night again, and please tell the truth this time.
I told you the truth. I promise I've told you the truth. Like, I woke up at 4 o'clock. I woke up at 4 o'clock. Got dressed, got ready. 4:15, me and Shanann talked. About the house, about separation.
Did you guys talk about Nikki?
She accused me of like, alright, well, you know, is there somebody else?
Sure.
I didn't say it.
You denied it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because she brought up like, you know, like, well, was there a $68 charge on dinner the other night?
Okay.
Was there 2 of you?
And that was with 2 of you, wasn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
That's Nikki.
Okay, so it sounds like at that time there was maybe you weren't quite ready to just say, man, this is everything.
I couldn't say it.
Okay.
We were already crying hard enough. I couldn't say that.
Okay. What did you say?
I just told her like, this separation has to go. I want separation.
Okay. Was it her idea to sell the house or yours?
She initiated the realtor the week before in an email.
Why?
Because we were talking about the marital issues. She's like, well, you can't afford to live on her own. Well, she can't afford to live on her own, and I can't afford to live on my own. So she was like, we need to just contact Ann and see.
And who'd you contact?
Well, she contacted Ann, our realtor.
Ann?
Yeah.
Okay. Would Ann say the same thing, that your wife initiated the contact?
Yeah.
Okay.
She would. And then on Monday, I texted her to see if what she could do.
Okay.
And that's in there too. You probably already knew that.
Tell me about the pregnancy. Was that your idea or hers?
She said she was about 80-20. Well, I went to the pros and cons of it. Like after she got pregnant, she told everybody that it was mainly my idea.
Is that true?
Yeah, I mean, I wanted a boy.
Did you want to get pregnant?
Hmm?
Okay.
And then after the fact, she said it was mainly me that wanted it, and she was about, you know, she was 70-30 against it at that point. Like, she would tell her friends that.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what, 70-30 against it? Like, why?
Okay. Can you understand that some of this just doesn't make sense to us? Okay. How is it possible that a woman and 2 kids are just completely gone off the face of the earth?
I promise you, I have nothing on my hands I did nothing to those kids or her to make them vanish.
So tell me what happened then. I believe you that you did nothing on your hands. What happened?
When I left, I mean, it's on video that I left and I was in my truck. I didn't like load anything into my truck besides my tools, my container, my book bag, my water jug, my lunchbox.
Okay. But then what happened?
I drove out of the driveway.
No, before you drove out of the driveway. What happened with your wife and your kids?
I didn't do anything with them. They were still in the house.
Where are they? Where did they go?
I don't know, sir. I really don't know.
Your wife's not the type of person to vanish.
I know she's not.
She had 10 things on her schedule that meant she was going to be there the next day, that day, then the day after that, with friends, with a doctor. Okay? She didn't leave because she wanted to.
Right.
So what happened?
I didn't do anything to her or the kids.
Was it an accident?
I didn't do anything.
Was it an accident?
There was no accident. I don't know if there was an accident in the house. I wasn't there for it.
It's a big deal if it's an accident, because we can work with that, Chris.
No.
And I think that's maybe what happened.
I did not cause an accident. I didn't do anything to my wife and kids.
Was it a misunderstanding?
There's no misunderstanding. Like, we had that talk. There was a misunderstanding where I didn't tell her about the affair.
Okay.
I didn't. That was the misunderstanding.
Like, miscommunication, misunderstanding.
Yeah.
Good.
But I probably should have told her right then, honestly. I mean, everything was out on the table anyways.
Right.
I should have just told her right then. But I didn't, because I just couldn't bring myself to do it.
What was your plan? What were you going to do? I mean, how was the separation going to work?
Like, once we got separated, I would get my own place, and then 50-50 split with the kids, I was hoping.
What about Nikki?
Take it slow and just see if anything develops, like when I'm, have my own place.
Okay.
I just find it hard to hear you talk about just having this emotional, conversation with Shanann, and you're bawling and crying together, and you have not shed one tear in 2 days that you've been here. Not one. And help me understand that, because I don't get it. These are your baby girls, and you have not shed one tear over them not being around. Chris, I lose my 4-year-old in the store for 10 seconds, and I start to go panic. I have not seen any of that from you at all. Help me understand that.
I love those girls. I would never do anything just because I haven't shed a tear. Like, you get
no, that's weird. Is that weird?
Don't look into that like I don't love my kids.
Tell me,
I love my wife.
explain to me. You're crying with your wife that you're leaving her.
Yeah.
But you don't cry that your 2 little baby girls.
I'm hoping they're still around somewhere. I'm hoping they're still somewhere.
Yeah, but you
alive.
don't have them right now. You're not reading stories to them at night.
I know.
You're not giving them midnight snacks. You're not giving them their medicine. You're not waking up with them in the morning.
I know this.
So that should cause you pain.
It does cause me pain.
But I don't see that. I don't see that. I want to see the Chris that cares. I want to see the Chris that, feels bad about what he did and wants to, get this off his chest and be done with this. And let us find your little girls so that they're not out there in the middle of a field or whatever somewhere. Like, don't do that.
I love those girls to death.
Then show us that. Show us that. Show us this Chris, not this Chris.
I'm not showing you that Chris. I'm showing you the Chris that cares about his girls and his wife. Just because I haven't shed a tear, it shouldn't make you feel like I haven't, that the love isn't there for them.
It's weird. It doesn't make sense to me.
I understand that.
You have to...
I totally see where you're coming from. Trust me, like, there's nothing... just because I...
Chris, people can be pushed to the point where they do something that they regret. It happens every single day.
I know.
But part of what makes you a man is the guy that goes, I really fucked up, but this is what I did, and I'm going to pay for what I did, and I'm going to tell you what I did, and I'm going to be honest about it.
Chris, we can keep talking to you once we find these girls, okay? And once we find these girls and your wife, right, no matter how we find them, no matter what condition they're in, we can keep talking to you, and you can tell us, guys, it's not as bad as it looks. And you can say, let me tell you what happened. I was never comfortable with you, Graham, or with you, Tam. No, I wasn't comfortable yet, but now that everything's known, now that these girls are found and Shanann's found, however they're found, it's okay. We can keep talking to you. Okay?
Chris, did Shanann do something to them?
No, I don't know.
I'm serious.
I have no clue.
No, you would have known, because they didn't leave the house. Did Shanann do something to them, and then did you feel like you had to do something to Shanann?
No, they were at the house when I left. They were there.
They weren't there. They didn't leave. They vanished.
They were there.
The only way they could have left is in your truck.
There's no way, because, like, I didn't just throw them in my truck.
You know your truck has GPS,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Because you told your boss, like, hey, I'm going through separation, or maybe staying at a friend's house, whatever. You know that thing pings every 10 seconds?
Yep.
So we will know exactly where you went.
And your company's giving that to us.
I know.
Okay. Are we not asking the right questions, Chris?
No, you're asking all the questions.
What are we not asking you right? What are we doing wrong?
You're not doing anything wrong.
Did Shanann do something?
If she did anything to these kids, we both love them with all our hearts. There's no way.
It could have been an accident. Something happened in the house that you know about. You failed the polygraph test, Chris. This is not about, did you leave and your wife vanished and you didn't know anything about it. That was not what you were asked, okay?
Okay.
We know that something happened to all three of them. But I want to know, did something happen to these baby girls first that you had to take into your own hands and deal with?
You had to clean it up for Shanann.
Chris, you got to tell us. There's something that happened to these baby girls. Look at them.
I know. Before you came in, I was just watching videos.
We have no doubt you love these girls with all of your heart. I have no doubt. But we make mistakes.
And that's okay.
It's what we do with those mistakes that make us who we are.
Chris, it seems like you're thinking about it right now. What are you thinking about?
She couldn't have.
I feel like you cleaned up for her. I feel like that's the type of guy that you are. Which one of these has the breathing thing?
Well, they both have inhalers, but she has the EOE. Encephalitis esophagitis.
Did she have problems breathing?
And only like with her allergies and whatnot, like if she had anything next, but she's home with the endoscopies and everything and the surgeries I told you about.
Do you think she had trouble breathing that night? And Shanann freaked out? And didn't want to live without her baby girl.
So,
Did you hear about the homicide that happened in Aurora, where the guy beat that family to death with a ball-peen hammer? The only person that survived was a 3-year-old sibling, and that sibling grew up to be a total mess. No family, no mom and dad, no brother or sister, just her by herself. She says, I wish I would have died with them. And there are times that people freak out. I've seen it. I mean, I've been in law enforcement for almost 20 years. I've seen it. Parents freak out and they're like, oh my God, like, I can't have my baby girls live without each other. They're best friends. They're like twins. They're, you know, they wake each other up in the morning. And I understand that. We had a mom in Castle Rock that suffocated both her baby girls. She's like, my husband was going to take them, and she's like, I just couldn't handle. I thought I was doing right by them. I thought I was saving them pain. And I get it.
why? Why was she saving the pain?
Because she didn't want them to have to live without their mom.
Chris, this is a weight that's going to be on you for the rest of your life until we resolve it tonight. Unless we can talk about this more tonight, this is going to follow you forever. I promise you, when you start talking to us, you will feel better. I know you already feel better about getting the Nikki off your chest.
Please don't like involve her in the news or anything like that. She can't do that.
You gotta help me.
I know.
Chris, we're giving you a lifeline right now. You need to take it. You need to reach out and take it.
Did they look like this tonight, the last night you were with them?
She had that dress on, like, on the 8th or 9th. It wasn't this, but she had that dress on. Cause I remember I had 2 buttons on the back. I'd take them off so I could get her pajamas on that night.
Did you guys make sure that they were warm when they left the house?
Make sure they were warm. They're always warm. They always have, when they're in their beds, they're always warm.
Okay. Were you guys taking care of them at the very end?
They're always taken care of. They never miss a meal.
Chris, you took them out of the house with their blankets and their animals. Like, that's because you cared. That's what a caring dad does.
I mean, I'm always caring for these kids. There's nothing in this for my life.
I believe that. I believe that, and I believe someone made a mistake, whether it was you or Shanann. And you either cleaned up after Shanann or you made the mistake. And I mean, I want to believe that maybe Shanann did it and you felt compelled to fix this so Shanann didn't look bad. That's what I want to believe. But I don't know, you're not telling me that, so it makes me think the worst. Like, did you do that to all 3 of them?
I did not do anything to these kids. Not do anything.
What did Shanann do to them? Tell us, Chris. Chicks are crazy.
Can I talk to my dad or something?
Absolutely.
Come.
Do you want to bring him in here?
No, I just need to talk to my dad. Like, I flew across the country.
Hey, Chris,
I can't.
how about this? If we brought your dad in here, would you please tell him what happened?
Can I just go talk to him? I've been in here for like 5 or 6 hours and I'm like...
Absolutely. Chris, look at me, man. It's not going to feel any better. He deserves an answer.
It's your best friend.
There's only one person you wanted here most, and that's your dad.
Yes.
What would you tell him?
I love him, and I just want him to be by my side.
Okay. He knows more than we do that you're a good man. And he knows as much as you want to protect your wife, Shana. I think he would tell you to do the right thing. Before we get him.
Can I go out there and talk to him?
Well, I don't know that you want to do it out there because there's a lot of people going through the halls. Should we bring him in here?
We'll step out. Okay.
Do you need a few minutes with him?
Okay.
Can we just ask a couple more questions? It seems like you're about to get it off your chest. Is there any way that you can help us understand more about Shanann and why maybe something happened? So that we don't get a bad picture about her. And what I mean is, what happened that night with her?
As far as like after I talked to her?
With the girls.
Like when we were having that conversation in bed there.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I talked to her about the separation and the house, and she asked me about the affair, and that's how that conversation went.
Okay.
She was distraught. She had like mascara on down her face, all that. And it was emotional.
Well, how about this? If we bring in your dad, will you promise me that you'll talk to him?
I'll talk to him.
Okay. Will you promise me that you'll tell him everything? Would it be easier if you told him and he told us?
I don't know.
Okay. I don't know if that's going to be easy or not. I tend to think it's not. I think you're the type of guy that needs to take responsibility because you always have taken responsibility. You've always made the right choice. So, I guess I'm just worried that if we bring your dad in here, that could distract you. What do you think?
Distract me from like talking to you?
Yeah.
I just need to talk to him.
Okay. All right. I know you'll do the right thing. I do. I don't know how long it's going to take. I think that you need to think a little bit more about that. Okay?
And you need to realize that your dad is not going to stop loving you no matter what you tell him. You are his child, and he will not stop loving you.
Never.
Ever.
And this is not the last chapter in anyone's story. At all. Okay? He's been here the whole time. You know, he didn't want to leave you. Have you ever seen, sometimes when an animal's owner dies, they stick around forever? I think that's your dad. Poor guy didn't want to leave today, okay? So, keep that in mind. He wants to hear it all. So I mean, they're not gonna let me go.
Is there any reason why they shouldn't?
They know I had an affair. And they know. I can't complain about that.
They know you had an affair.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else you want to tell me? What's going on, or what happened, or anything? Or you know anything about?
When we had that conversation that morning, it was, it was emotional. It was told her about separation and everything like that.
Mm-hmm. What happened after that?
I mean, I went downstairs and I don't want to protect her.
What?
I don't want to protect her.
You don't want to protect her?
I don't know what else to say.
What happened?
Huh?
She hurt him?
Yeah. And then I freaked out.
What now?
I freaked out and I hurt her.
You hurt her? Did they leave after that, or what? So she started hurting the kids.
They were.
Talking to you guys, what happened?
What?
She smelled it. Or choking. No.
I didn't hear anything. When I was downstairs, I came back up and they were gone. I don't know, like me talking to her about that. Talking to her about separation and everything, about
And she lost it.
I don't know, like, what else to say, like, I freaked out. Those are my kids.
So she, it's not that one time, you were leaving this and going to work. And she freaked out over the separation and everything.
Like, she laid back down, but that's when I went downstairs, but I heard like a little commotion upstairs, but I didn't think anything of it.
Mm-hmm. And then you went back upstairs and she was...
Never, I could see, like, she was on top of me.
What, choking her, or... Did she kill her?
They're blue.
Both of them?
Yeah.
She choked both of them to death.
I freaked out in the champagne. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say though.
No, just...
I couldn't, like, call the cops about it.
So when you do all the bodies off or something?
she knew about the affair. She just was waiting for me to say something and for me to deny it again. I think she just lost it.
That's when she went off and told her about it.
That's when the crying like happened. And that's what happened. She almost didn't let me told her about her confirm. Yeah, that's right. I didn't tell her how long. She just knew. She just knew. I could deny it all I want. She just knew. She said that she killed both of them over such a separation of the affair. I didn't say her though. I think she just knew, like, the affair was happening, but I just denied it. Don't you told her before that about separation? But, you know, she was hoping we'd go to counseling or something. I didn't like the counseling. She lost it. In another separation. Did she break up the affair that morning too? range. She didn't
Everything okay? I'm sure. Chris, help us work through this with you, okay? Will you tell us what you told your dad?
After that conversation,
Water up there, son.
no, you're fine.
Yeah.
After that conversation we had, and she accused me of the affair, she, in her heart, she knew what was going on. And she knew about the dinner the other night. It was too much for just me.
She knew about what now?
When I told her I went to a Rockies game, I went out to bed. I went downstairs.
And that's when you told her about the separation?
Well, that was when I was upstairs in bed. And told her, what I wanted and I wanted a separation. And that's what I want. I went downstairs and started packing up a few things. I heard a couple of things upstairs, but I didn't think anything of it. I continued this, own thing and get ready to get everything packed up.
Next.
I went upstairs and I was going to talk to her again. And I saw on the monitor, Bella's covers were pulled off and she was just laying there. She was just hot. Cycled over to CC. She was in there with her. On top of her. Choking her. Freaked out. I ran in there and got on top of her.
What'd you do?
Blue. Those are my babies. Those are my kids.
What happened?
Something that hurt.
Who, Shannon? Where were you at?
Right there. I put her back in our bed. Shannon.
Is you okay? What happened next?
I don't know what to do. I have no idea what to do. I was shaking. Both my kids were blue and they were gone. And I'm just blind, I'm not that person, I'm just my kids. Like I had to do the same thing to her.
So what happened after she was in your bed?
And there, I didn't know what to do. She's back and cover her up. Didn't know what to do.
Where are they now? To find your babies. Did the hard part. All you have left is to tell us where they're at.
We can help you get them out of the cold.
They're gone. There's no bringing them back.
Well, where are they?
At that first location I went to that day.
Where at?
That's 3319.
Where at? That location.
Right there off the site. Right there.
How did you pick that site?
First site I was supposed to take them there.
So where would we find them there?
I didn't know what to do.
I know.
I didn't know what to fucking do. Like none of this made sense. Why would she hurt my fucking girls?
So Chris, are they in something? Are they under the ground? Like, where would you find them? You take us out there?
There's no way I want to walk there. I mean, I will if you want me to. I don't want to go.
What if you and me and your dad just drove by and you could just say, right there, we could help you just get him out of the cold, you know, take care of him for the last time.
I'm sorry.
I know you are.
I know you are. I know you came in today to do the right thing. You didn't have to come in. You came in all on your own.
Yes, I did. Don't take anything less than me.
What?
Just please don't take anything less than me. It's talking about that.
Are they all three out there, Chris?
Yes.
Okay.
What was she doing to Cece?
She's just on top of her. My hands around.
Hands around what?
My neck.
You saw it?
I saw it on the monitor.
Okay.
And that's why I ran in there. just that blind rage, I just did the same thing to her.
Did you ever go into Bella's room?
Just put Shanann back in. I saw her on the monitor. The way she was laying, the bed just sprawled out.
Is that when you packed up their special stuff? So where'd you put them? Get them out there.
In the truck.
Which part?
Driver's side rear.
In the passenger compartment?
Driver's side rear. Right behind my seat.
What were you thinking on the way out there?
And the babies are gone. And I put my hands around my wife's neck and did that same thing.
Did Shanann fight back at all when you did that?
The rage that I had after seeing that, not much.
How do you know Shanann was dead?
Smooth.
We looked on her Facebook page like 2 days ago. They had this like 4 or 5 foot long baby doll. She had it laying on the couch with a sheet over it.
Shanann did?
Yeah. Before any of this happened.
Yeah. That's a good point.
So I'm thinking that's not a good plan. I don't know.
That's a very good point.
I can't see it now, but I'm blocked on there. If you look on their Facebook page.
What did it say, or what was the
It
caption?
said, what do you say to this? Something similar to that. And a tall baby doll about that tall was laying on one of her couches and had a sheet over across the head, all the way up. You can see his feet hanging out, saying like Bella had done that. The kid went through that.
Do you remember that, Chris? What do you think?
Just make fun of it. Thought it was funny.
Did Bella do it?
I don't know. I don't remember.
I don't think so. But I don't catch it up. I don't think she would do something like that. No, she would have had their dolls and stuff out on the floor and just covering up waist and stuff and something like that. But no, covering her head and everything up like
Like what?
Like a body laying there or something.
It sounds like kind of,
I'm sorry I lied to you. Commander. I mean, you knew what was gonna happen.
You stayed for a reason.
Chris, you're a good man.
I'm not a good man.
Well, you stayed. You wanted to talk. You knew it was going to be hard, and you still stayed. That's what a good man does.
Stayed here for 6 hours and 11 minutes before.
After staring you in the face.
We're glad you did.
I can see when the rage would come out and see look her kids dead.
You don't know. You don't know when you look at you come out and see him move.
I told you your dad still loves you, no matter what.
How could you let someone kill somebody?
Chris?
Nothing will ever be the same again.
When you came in, was your wife on top of her right when you came in? So you saw it in person?
Because I saw the monitor, that's why I rushed in. So I went in there to talk to her again.
And when you came in, she was right there on top of you?
She was right there.
Okay.
Her hands on her throat.
She didn't know what to do.
Are you trying to say it, Cece?
Hard glue on the face. She wasn't moving. Her head just hanging over my left like that.
So where did you put them out there, Chris? That's really important. Something, or they under something, in something?
I didn't know what else to do.
I know, so tell me what you did. I know.
I didn't know what else to do. I was so scared.
I know.
It's like my wife just did this, and I just did that. What do I do?
Right.
Anything that I would do from there was just going to be just insensitive and just a horrible thing.
You were in a tough spot. I mean, what can you do, right?
Sometimes your body just kind of takes over and... I'm looking at your dad here. Can you show us?
What's going to happen?
We're going to help him get out of there. Do you prefer, would you prefer that one of your coworkers?
Oh my God, no.
Okay.
I cannot have that. You said that you're about to become a good man. They're going to see this. You're like, what the fuck did you do, Chris? Like, what? Like, why didn't you just call the cops to begin with?
Well, they weren't in your shoes. They don't know.
I don't.
They weren't living your life.
I know, but still, it's like...
People are going to...
I can never, like...
We'll just go little steps at a time. How about that?
I can't have anybody show you out there, anybody, no coworkers, please.
Okay.
I mean, they're just going to form their own opinions anyways once they figure everything out anyway.
We'll just take little steps tonight then. How about that?
Yeah, do you have to have any of them with you?
No.
No. We prefer you.
Can you and me and Tammy and Ronnie get in the car and just drive out there?
Just general direction.
You just point it? Chris, I know they're gone, but they're still your babies, and you're still their dad.
And you don't want them out there.
I don't want them out there.
And you don't want someone else to find them out there. You don't, I promise you. Take us. give us a second so we can kind of get some things arranged to do that.
Ronnie, do you mind staying in here with him? Okay. What the fuck is this? This is just fucking horrible. The problem is I don't even know if they believe me or not.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to text my daughter after I go to my house before my wife finds out. This ain't gonna be on the news anytime soon, or is it?
No, not tonight. I can't imagine it's not now. I mean, I don't really have much say in that, but I can't see that. Do you want me to take you out to the lobby and you can go to the bathroom and then text your wife and stuff, talk to them?
I want to go outside.
Yeah, I'm gonna go outside.
Just watch the press people around.
Yeah, I'll see them out there while you're over there.
You want to take your water with you?
Yeah.
We're going to try to do our best to make sure that we, we don't stand to gain anything by broadcasting any of this. That's not what law enforcement is ever really about. So we're going to try our best to handle that as discreetly as possible, but they're pretty good at what they do too.
So I'm not from around here neither, are you?
I've only been here 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Going to find a lawyer or something for not a public defender, but somebody else.
We can talk about
that later.
Yeah.
Get your phone. You got it? Okay. Let's go this way. All right, we'll stop.
So if you're up for it, we'll talk a little bit more. I think we have a picture of, is it Survey 319? I think we have a picture. Kind of walk you through that. I'm sure you have a ton of questions for us about, how your night, month, and week is going to look. So Tammy, I was just telling him, I wanted to show him that picture.
Yeah.
And then we're going to talk a little bit about how the rest of the night's going to go.
That looks familiar to you? What is that?
It's the PRC Survey 319.
Okay. Whereabouts is Shanann and the girls?
How old is this picture?
Today.
That's today.
Okay, can you mark it for me? I think it's the paper, it's just kind of, the S for Shanann, okay, and where are the girls at?
Here.
In these?
Mm-hmm.
So which one is, do you know which one?
Are they in the tanks? Can somebody who doesn't know what they're doing open those? Okay, it's easy to open them.
What's in the tanks?
It's a mixture of oil and water.
There was a sheet found down here?
Mm-hmm.
What is that from?
That was what Chanel was wrapped in.
What about the girlies? What were they wrapped in? Just in their pajamas? Not with their blankets or anything? Where did their blankets and toys and stuff go?
Probably blew away in the wind or something right here.
Where did you set them or put them?
It was right here, but
So how did you dig this out? I'm assuming that's under dirt. How did you dig that?
it's a shovel in my truck. Still with it.
It's like a work shovel? Is it still there? How was Shanann dressed?
Shirt and underwear.
So what she got into bed with? Do you remember what color her shirt was or her underwear?
I think her shirt was either black or gray. Underwear was probably blue.
How much time passed, do you think, from the time that she was back in the bed until you put them in the truck? Are we talking minutes, hours, something else?
From when I left the house.
No, like from when you got her into bed to when you put them in the truck. How long a time was that?
So like from when I put Shanann in my truck, from the bed to the truck.
Yeah, from your master bed to the truck, yeah.
Minutes.
Okay. Are you talking about covering her up or something?
Yeah. And the sheet.
Is there anything else about anything out here that has stuff that you've left in certain spots, or you sure their blankets and toys aren't gonna be in there as well?
Not because it was right here with their sheet.
Can you do me a huge favor and just write your name on the bottom? Just so I know that we didn't make those marks. I'm just gonna write the date on it, okay? 8/15/18 at 5:56.
Was she wearing, was your wife wearing any shorts or pants or anything, just under? Okay. Do you remember what they look like?
Blue.
Okay. Okay. And the girls, do you remember what their pajamas were?
They're both nightgowns.
Okay.
Celeste, I think, was that pink one with the like birds on it.
Okay.
I think Bella's was their unicorn or believe on it or something.
Okay. So it sounds like, it feels like to me, now we know pretty well how to go get them. Is there anything else we need to know?